folks. Welcome back to another gripping episode of Whining About Pest Control. If you're just joining us, I am Shelby Hartzer of 360 Pest Consulting. And we've had some recent cold snaps. It's going to get a little colder too during some point of the winter still. And I get the question a lot of what happens to the pests when it's cold like this. Short answer, not really much, especially when it comes to ticks. But let's get into this. And in this case, I'm drinking a Cabernet Sauvignon because ticks, blood, red, it works. So cheers. Okay. I've talked about ticks in previous episodes. I'm going to put a whole different spin on this one. Ticks are different than all the other pests we deal with because they have a really long life cycle. They only take blood once per life stage in that life cycle. So if you take nothing else away from this episode, remember this: ticks have a 2-year or longer life cycle. 2 years. That means we have to look at tick control as a long-term process. It cannot be a one-time thing. Back to how the weather ties in, with ticks, we're looking at least 2 winters, right? 2 winters, 2 years. Even in super cold winters, ticks are pretty well hidden in the leaf litter. They're in burrows, and some are even still feeding, so they're protected by that warm-blooded animal. A severe cold snap may take care of some of them, but it's not going to have a significant effect on their overall population. So let's whine about that in terms of control. Tick season starts earlier than you're probably thinking. I know it's February, the warmth feels really far away. Right now, I am not advocating for doing any pesticide treatments, but there are things that you can do and ways to start preparing your customers for this. Remember I said they're hiding underneath all that leaf litter? The more of that yard trash, the wood piles, the other overgrown spots that you can decrease a bit, that's going to expose some of the ticks and reduce their lifespan. Another thing you could do for tick control is look at that rodent pressure. Mice are big carriers of ticks, especially in the Northeast and the upper Midwest. Making sure you've evaluated the rodent pressure and put rodent control in place, if it's necessary, can reduce the risk of people picking up ticks in their own backyards. Of course, the same tick controls of cleaning up habitat also apply to rodents. Same habitat, right? When we talk about cleaning up food sources, that's blood for ticks and the animals that are carrying that blood. That's another reason ticks can be especially difficult. For effective control, you have to factor in that host animal and try and decrease those. That's certainly not easy when it comes to those larger animals, but you can decrease rodent populations in a lot of cases. Going back to winter again, especially cold winters, they may decrease some of those warm-blooded hosts, but again, not enough to be significant. One more time, really important to remember that 2-year life cycle. When people are concerned about ticks and the diseases that they are carrying, it has to be a multi-year program. It has to incorporate host control. And remember, reducing ticks does not necessarily mean the reduction in tick-borne diseases. You cannot promise that with your service. But you can do all the other things we just mentioned. So go grab a glass, start booking your calendar 2 years out, and whine to me about your tick issues. I can help you. Share with all your troops and teams, and cheers to the gripping. Get it? They bite and they grip on. Gripping? No? Okay. I got nothing. Cheers to ticks.